It's official. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says Super Bowl 57 will be played in Glendale.
Arizona will host its fourth Super Bowl with Super Bowl 57, and the New Orleans Saints will host their 11th Super Bowl with Super Bowl 58.
The state Supreme Court could decide whether benefits granted to same-sex unmarried couples should also be offered to heterosexual unmarried couples. The state appeals court admits a woman denied benefits for her boyfriend would have gotten them if she was in a same-sex partnership. Uber will no longer test autonomous vehicles in Arizona. This comes after such a vehicle crashed and killed a pedestrian in Tempe in March. Sierra Vista High School evacuated this morning due to a bomb threat. Police turned up nothing. Classes were canceled for the day. Geico weather, sunny and warmer statewide. A few clouds in the north will burn away the next 2 days. Jeff Munn, Arizona News Radio.
It's time for your 1100 KFNX traffic report, brought to you by the TJ Martell Foundation. In Mesa, we have an accident at Mesa Drive, both northbound and southbound between East Main Street and 1st Street. In Phoenix, be on the lookout for a collision at the I-10 eastbound at 67th Ave, as well as 99th Ave at Lower Buckeye Road. The TJ Martell Foundation, music's promise for a cure. To learn more, visit tjmartell.org. That's tjmartell.org.
From the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center, as we head into the evening under clear skies, our low tonight 69. Thursday sunny with a high near 99. Thursday night clear, overnight low 69, and Friday will be sunny with a high reaching 100. I'm Scott Allen Fortney from the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center.
Currently, in downtown Phoenix, it's 90 degrees.
Next news in 30 minutes or when it breaks. Here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Hi, this is Bob Vila. I've spent my career bringing out the potential in homes across the country. And as any small business owner knows, realizing potential requires working capital. That's why I'd like to introduce you to Cabbage. Cabbage has provided access to more than $4 billion in funding to over 130,000 businesses. With Cabbage, you can be approved for flexible access to a line of credit of up to $250,000. Apply online and get a quick decision. Once approved, you can draw from your line anytime you need to pay employees or cover unexpected expenses. Just withdraw the amount you need using your computer, the Cabbage mobile app, or the Cabbage card, anywhere Visa is accepted.
Visit Cabbage.com/potential or call 855-CABBAGE to get $100 back when you take your first loan. That's 855-CABBAGE with a K. Credit lines and pricing are subject to periodic review and change. This is not a revolving account. Individual requests for capital or separate installment loans. All Cabbage business loans are issued by Celtic Bank, the Utah Chartered Industrial Bank, member FDIC.
The information and opinions you hear on this radio show are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of KFNX, its affiliates, management, or advertisers.
Live from the Midtown studios of KFNX, it's time for the Wellness Roundtable radio show, sponsored by Atrix.com. Now, here's your hosts, Dr. Spear and Dr. Weiss.
Hello, welcome to the Wellness Roundtable radio show. It's Wednesday here in beautiful Phoenix. I'm Dr. David Spear, along with my East Coast co-host, Dr. Scott Weiss.
How you doing there, Dave?
We're doing well. We're doing well here. It's getting up to triple digits soon, so, we're getting to that Arizona summer. And I hear that you've had some rain, but things have kind of calmed down there. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Things are really starting to get nice here. I happen to be out on the east end of Long Island today, and actually looking over the beach. So it's a really beautiful day here in the in Northeast, especially New York.
Nice. So, today we're going to talk about, I think, a really important topic that affects a lot of not only younger individuals who are athletic, but really we're going to talk about older individuals. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about fall prevention and falls and what to do before falls, like how to prevent them, and what to do after falls, how to kind of rehab and how to train through them. But I want to take you through some statistics that are quite staggering. So I don't know if you know this, but 25% of older adults report a fall. And that's data from the CDC in 2014. So there's about 10,000 people who turn the age 65 every day. And 25% of them are going to end up reporting a fall. Right now, we spend over $31 billion in medical bills just on falls alone. and it's the primary cause for hip fractures. But if you think about it, out of the 74 million people in 2030, 49 million of them will fall. So what do you think about that?
It's a really important topic, Dave. It's a really important topic. I mean, I think people really forget the fact, or they're not even privy to the fact that falls are really common. And I think there's almost like an ego about it and so many other kind of emotional things about it. But losing balance and falls are really, really important to learn how to prevent and really learn how to deal with a fall if it happens. So I think today is really, really important. I'm excited to hear some of the input from our guests.
Me too. So without further ado, let's introduce our guest. Our guest is a personal trainer out of Pembroke Pines, Florida. Her name is Shari Kalkstein, and she is the owner of Fortify Your Frame. And Fortify Your Frame is a personal training sort of boutique business that focuses on aging individuals. And she has expertise in falls, does a lot of lecturing around the country on fall prevention and not only how to prevent it, but also how to go through training after a fall and how to kind of get back on your feet. So, Shari, we want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
I'm excited to be here.
So, I read some of those statistics, and most people don't really know those numbers. I mean, those are tremendous numbers. They're staggering numbers. Yeah, absolutely. And not only is it staggering and is it kind of a health issue, which is obvious, but it costs so much money.
Because each fall typically ends up with a hospital visit.
Right.
And unfortunately, people think falling is a natural part of aging. Oh, I'm getting old, I'm just going to fall and it'll be fine. But you don't have to. Falls can be prevented. There are some accidents. You guys up in New York, you're going to get snow, sleet, ice.
Right.
You're going to slip and fall. That's not the falls that we're talking about, even though following that fall, I still recommend, you have to assess. And that's the biggest thing, is knowing if it's safe for you to get up off the floor.
Yep.
Or should you just simmer down and wait?
Yeah.
And it's no joke, Dave. It's no joke. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
Out there.
Right.
And all those monitoring systems, I think, are, and the whole telehealth platform, I think, is going to help people once they are down. But I think, Shari, you bring up a good point. How do I know whether I can get up? I'm alone. How bad is this? And that's a really big question.
Yeah, I agree. And we'll talk a little bit about the technology that's coming out. There's some new stuff that's actually really cutting edge that's coming out to basically, let people know where their balance is and if they're going to fall, if they can precipitate a fall, those kinds of things. But, Shari, so tell us a little bit about Fortify Your Frame. What kind of business is it? What do you do? How do you acquire your clients?
I'll start with how I acquire my clients. It's word of mouth.
Okay.
I help somebody, they improve their balance, and they're going to tell their friend. The average age is mid-80s. So, and I say mid only because my 90-year-old passed away last year.
Okay.
But it's private. It's small studio, and it's individualized. So whatever you need. And I just started, a new client, 86 years old. He left the gym, and all they did is gym machines, but he has no balance.
Right.
That's what's going to cause issues down the road. I don't care about your bicep. I care about your glutes. Can you stand? Can you balance? Do you have the appropriate flexibility to do this? So his workout is totally off at what he's used to, but I think he's grasping why I'm doing some of the things I do, and it's just really specialized. It's not happening anywhere else. Everybody's throwing people on machines, get stronger, build muscle, but that's not going to help you in the long run prevent falls.
So let's tell the listeners why that is, right? Because we have kind of a common thought, which is if we strengthen our muscles, we're going to have, a better structure, more support. We'll probably have less falls. So what is it that you do that is maybe a little bit different than what you might do in a gym? Like with machines, how does that differ? And why is that so important when it comes to falls?
Okay, huge difference. A machine locks you in a specific position. You're sitting, so you have full butt support, you have full back support, and then you're lifting weights. The only sitting you're going to do with me is a sit to stand, which is a modified squat. Everything I do is done standing. You have to use your body to stabilize, not the machine. So you're not going to lift as heavy weights as you are using dumbbells or body weight because you have to use your body versus the machine stabilizing you.
Okay.
And if you're sitting, you're not using the appropriate muscles to help you in balance because you're not using your glutes. And that's the most important muscle that I have to strengthen, everybody has to strengthen, to really help prevent a fall. It's called the dormant
What about the
syndrome.
vestibular system? How do you address the whole vestibular system? Because, strengthening, we know, is really just one part of balance. There's the proprioceptive awareness in space. There's the whole vestibulocochlear system. And there are ways of training that. Do you incorporate that into the individualized training that you do?
Well, I don't do vestibular. I will send them out. I know my limitations, and that happens to be a limitation for me. I love my balance pads. And on my Facebook page or on Instagram, actually both, I'm constantly uploading video. And people can see how it is I'm working balance with balance pads. Mm-hmm. And you can take someone with neuropathy, whether it be from chemo, which is what I have, and diabetic, and improve their balance because intrinsically they can still work. So you put them on a balance pad, they are working hard, even though they can't, quote, feel it. They're working their intrinsic, and that's how that's going to help them with their balance.
I agree. And one thing people forget is the co-contractions of balance. When you're strengthening, you're usually focusing on one area.
Right.
When you're balancing, there's a constant co-contraction in the front and back of a joint to keep you stable,
that's right.
Like Sherry's saying. So that's ideal.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. You're firing a lot of muscle. And also, like you said, the proprioceptors are starting to understand where you are in space. And I think, that's extremely an integral part of balancing and not falling. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about fall prevention, but specifically, we're going to talk a little bit about a sensitive issue, which is, we have kind of data when older people use the bathroom. There tends to be sometimes heart attack, stroke, things of that nature. And there also is issues with balance. And I'll give you a little bit of a personal account that myself and my family actually experienced. So we'll be right back with the Wellness Roundtable show. We're talking with Sherry Kalkstein, and we're talking fall prevention.
Information on better health, fitness, and nutrition is everywhere, but much of it is about selling and not teaching. Jerry Brainham's Applied Metabolics newsletter is different. No ads, no advertisers, only pure, unvarnished truth. Jerry Brainham has written for bodybuilding magazines for over 35 years and published over 6,500 articles, and has been on the scene of fitness and nutrition for 56 years. His Applied Metabolics newsletter is an incredible source of practical, no-nonsense guidance, offering in-depth information about nutrition, food supplements, exercise science, ergogenic aids, anti-aging and longevity research, women's health issues, fat loss techniques, preventative medicine, and more. For only $10 a month, that's less than a cup of coffee per day. Subscribe to Jerry Brainham's informational and transformational newsletter and get information to guide you on the path toward health, longevity, and overall well-being. Visit AppliedMetabolics.com. That's AppliedMetabolics.com.
Are you tired of traveling or waiting to see a health professional? Now you don't have to. Video chat with an expert anytime, anywhere, and get your health questions answered. Visit wellnessroundtable.com and speak to experts from all over the country in the areas of health, wellness, and fitness. Wellnessroundtable.com offers an on-demand system that allows you to connect to an expert immediately. No scheduling, no appointments necessary. Wellnessroundtable.com. Visit our website and take advantage of our on-demand system, wellnessroundtable.com, where you get your questions answered. Wellnessroundtable.com.
Atrix is one of the fastest growing companies in the footwear industry and is widely recognized as a global leader in comfort and wellness footwear products. The Atrix mission is to create the healthiest shoe on the market today with fashion, function, and quality at the forefront. Atrix designs and manufactures most types of footwear for both men and women. All styles are crafted with care to meet the highest standards in design, incorporate cutting-edge technologies, and offer unmatched customization and adjustability. To learn how Atrix can help you with your feet, go to AETREX.com. That's Atrix.com.
Fortify Your Frame has been in business for over 15 years as the only private studio in Pembroke Pines, Florida that caters strictly to aging adults. They have the knowledge, ability, and experience to give an aging adult a comfortable yet challenging workout. If you or someone you know is an aging adult who wants to improve their quality of life, call 954-649-1737. The first session is free, and that number again is 954-649-1737. You may also visit the studio online at fortifyyourframe.com. That's fortifyyourframe.com.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through. Like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We're back with the Wellness Roundtable Radio Show on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. We're talking fall prevention with personal trainer Sherry Kalkstein. Give us a call at 602-277-5369 or 1-866-536-1100. So, Sherry, we were talking about kind of, falls and really the training that you do and how it's different than, let's say, just kind of common gym training. And then I brought up kind of a sensitive topic, which is that individuals...
Incontinence.
Yeah, incontinence and exactly, yeah. And as older individuals tend to use, they may use the facilities, they may spike blood pressure, may pass out. There's been, bradycardia, which is slow heart rate. There's a lot of things that happen, but also falls are very common. And why is that?
Well, the biggest reason is they're rushing and they're moving impulsively, which means they're losing control of their body and their body's getting ahead of them.
Okay.
So if you get that urge to go to the bathroom and you can't hold it, I hate to say, but that's the time that you need to consider starting to wear protective pads.
Okay.
Because if you're going to fall on the way to the bathroom, you will wet yourself, so you're going to have an accident wherever you land, and then you're running the potential of getting injured. Some of that, if you have the time, is do just 2 simple exercises to get the blood flowing, to lubricate your joints, so this way you are prepared to get up and go to the bathroom and in a safer manner. Ankle pumps. Ankle pumps are great. You're getting the blood circulating through the lower extremity. Heel slides. Lubricate that knee and hip joint before you get up out of bed. But people jump up out of bed, and there's that orthostatic hypotension that you just kind of mentioned, and there you go. They're going to go down.
I see. Okay.
So if you can't, unfortunately, I really teach my adults, wear a pad. It's okay. If you don't make it to the bathroom, big deal. But if you do make it to the bathroom, and I also work pelvic floor exercises, that's great.
Right.
So that's our goal.
Right.
Is that they don't need it, but be protected.
But you think it's like it's a rushing that they experience, and that's kind of they almost get distracted from what it is that they're doing, and then all of a sudden they're on the ground.
I could see that. I could see that too, Dave. I could see that clearly. I mean, I think we've all, as humans, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And if your body and your musculoskeletal system, neurological system, and as you just mentioned, the cardiovascular system is not on your side and you fall, I can see it. It's more of the word is urgency that kind of speeds your body up. And as I said, if you can't keep up with your body, unfortunately, a fall is that.
Yeah.
You're going down.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I said I was going to kind of share with you a personal experience. So, my dad, who recently passed away last year, was 92 years old, and he was living by himself, in kind of an assisted living facility. And he had a fall in the bathroom. And he hit the back of his head, and sort of, the sequelae of that was hospital stay for 7 days, and then he just kind of went downhill and passed away. But I never thought of that being the reason he fell. I always thought that the reason he fell was because he couldn't maintain his blood pressure, and his pressure may have fallen, and then he fell. Right. But that's interesting that you bring that up, because it's very, very possible that the reason he fell is because he was rushing to get to the bathroom, couldn't get there in time, and then, of course, slipped or wasn't paying attention in that way.
It's an obvious way an accident can happen, Dave. I think when we rush to do anything, you stub your toe, you trip over something. So I think we've all done it. So I can really see when your body is not behind you, a fall is really going to happen. But there are so many ways, as Shari was saying, to help prevent that and to strengthen and, to balance. But when everybody's rushing, unfortunately, an accident can happen.
Yeah, you're just not paying attention to sort of what's in front of you. And that's
why I like to be proactive. I really just like to be proactive and protect. Just protect yourself. Now you won't have that, I got to go rush and fall. Because you're protected.
Right, that won't be an issue anymore. So,
and now you can just have a safer path to the bathroom.
Right. No, I think that's a really good point. Yeah.
I was just agreeing with you. I'm just echoing what Shari was saying. Is in physical therapy, we're also taught, when you go to evaluate somebody's home, we take away scatter rugs.
Right.
We move furniture out of the way, pointy furniture. So, as Shari's saying, the environment is crucial. So if you do rush, you're not going to be slamming into things or having the opportunity to trip or fall.
Right. No, I think that's a really good point. And so that sort of brings me to a question that I had in terms of evaluation. So let's say, you said you acquire clients via word of mouth. So you get a new client. Is this a client predominantly who has fallen before, or are these people who are sort of hearing about you as, here's a woman who can really help me in terms of preventing a fall? Who are the clients?
Right now, I don't have any clients that came to me because they fell.
Okay.
My clients come to me being proactive. I'm 86 years old. I know my balance is off. I shuffle my feet. Everybody says hello to me before they even see me. That's a huge.
Sure. They can hear me coming down the street kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
with my feet.
They're dragging their feet.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, after 3 sessions, he can pick up his legs. He can walk. He can stand on one leg long enough that he can swing the other leg in front of him and not drag. So most of them are remotely healthy, but some are in very poor physical shape, and we just want to improve their lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's all about making a better lifestyle for them.
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point. And Scott, I think that shuffling is, I think it's a combination of two things. It's the fact that maybe there is weakness there, but I think it's also a conscious decision to shuffle, because they feel if they shuffle, they're not necessarily going to create an environment where they're not going to fall. Right. That's exactly right. They think it's safer.
I could see that, but then again, there are dozens of patients that I came across with Parkinson's that have a festinated type of gait.
Sure.
Where they festinate, where it's neurologically, unfortunately, putting them into that position where their upper body is leaning way in front of their hips, and it causes them to kind of have that stuttering type of step. But I can see that as you age, you don't want to take that long step. It's almost like when we walk in ice. We don't want to put that heel down and make true heel contact. Right. We kind of shuffle along the ice to make sure we don't
That's
slip.
Exactly right, because there's greater friction, right? There's greater contact with the ground. And I do agree with you that in Parkinson's, that festination is very common. And with that forward lean, they are so susceptible to falls.
100%.
Yeah. But
you can't compare somebody with Parkinson's with just an older adult, that because of loss of muscle strength and loss of proprioception. So don't take a healthy aging adult and compare them with a disease-aged adult, because you're not comparing apples to apples. Parkinson's has its own issues and neurological concerns that, fortunately for me, I don't have. My clients don't. I don't have any clients with Parkinson's. So from that standpoint, working with remotely healthy, they're diabetic, they have heart conditions, they're deconditioned.
Right.
And they know that they have to do something to improve their life.
Right. You had mentioned, Shari, that you do a lot of balance exercise, you use balance boards, things like that. Do you also, in terms of teaching an individual in a way kind of how to walk again, let's say, in other words, evaluating their gait, if they're shuffling and you want to get them to kind of a heel toe gait, do you use things like a treadmill, a self-powered treadmill? Do you use any kind of device like that to do that?
I do not have a treadmill.
Okay.
I don't like treadmills for older adults because I like to think about function. And while I know people are going to disagree with me, when you're living in the real world, you're not keeping up with the floor moving.
Correct.
You can
I
then
agree.
really focus in on your heel strike, swing face, toe walk, and I can go outside and we can walk.
Okay.
And we can work on it from there. But do I do a gait assessment? Do I ask them stand on one leg? Most of the time, my finger can't even start and stop the stopwatch fast enough.
I know.
Because they can't even stand on one leg for half a second.
Yep.
So I initiate a lot of that by putting them on the balance pads. I have a perfect corner.
Okay.
So if they feel like they're going down, they got nowhere to fall.
I see.
They're in a corner.
Got it.
I'm in front of them, and I have a corner behind them.
Okay.
And Dave, whatever test you do, I'm sure Sherry's consistent. Whatever test she does to measure balance, she's doing the same technique with everybody to keep that consistency amongst everybody. Yeah.
And standard, I agree. All right, we're going to break now for commercial, and we're talking fall prevention with Sherry Kalkstein. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what happens if you do fall. Number one, what do you do when you're on the ground? What would be the safest thing to do? So stay with us. We're here on 1100 Independent Talk, KFNX.
News you won't get anywhere else. Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Fair and balanced. Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.
For a second time, President Trump's son-in-law and advisor, Jared Kushner, has been interviewed by special counsel Robert Mueller's team. Kushner attorney Abby Lowell says it was clear from questioning that Kushner is considered a witness.
By campaign, the issue that they're investigating is whether there was something called collusion, whatever that means to people. They're looking to see whether there was some undue influence put on by outside countries, particularly Russia. And they've been looking at some of the post-inauguration issues, primarily the firing of James Comey.
A federal judge in New York ruled President Trump cannot block his critics on Twitter without violating the First Amendment. In the ruling, the judge said no government official, the president included, is above the law. The bankrupt maker of Necco wafers and Sweethearts has a new owner. The Ohio-based Spangler Candy Company had the winning bid of just under $19 million at a federal bankruptcy auction for the New England Confectionery Company. I'm Barbara Cusack.
It's time for your 1100 KFNX Traffic Report, brought to you by Unbound.org. In Mesa, we still have that accident at Mesa Drive between East Main Street and 1st Street. In Peoria, be on the lookout for a collision at the Loop 101 northbound at Thunderbird Road. And in Phoenix, we have an accident at 44th Street north of Indian School Road. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of the community. Reach out and change their world, and it'll change your own. Unbound.org.
From the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center, as we head into the evening under clear skies, our low tonight 69. Thursday sunny with a high near 99. Thursday night clear, overnight low 69, and Friday will be sunny with a high reaching 100. I'm Scott Allen Fortney from the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center.
Currently, in downtown Phoenix, it's 90 degrees.
Next news in 30 minutes or when it breaks. Here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
71% of cyber attacks occur on small and medium businesses, and 80% of those affected will be retargeted within 6 months. Axiom Cyber is the future of cybersecurity with monitoring by experts, continuous updates that occur more than 50,000 times a year to help your business stay ahead of the hackers. Axiom is the only company providing dynamic dark web blocking, ransomware defense, denial of service defense, cryptojacking defense, and more, with plans starting at $229 per month. Next generation firewall device included. Contact Axiom today at axiomcyber.com. That's AXIOMcyber.com. Mention KFNX and get your first month free.
Are you tired of traveling or waiting to see a health professional? Now you don't have to. Video chat with an expert anytime, anywhere, and get your health questions answered. Visit wellnessroundtable.com and speak to experts from all over the country in the areas of health, wellness, and fitness. Wellnessroundtable.com offers an on-demand system that allows you to connect to an expert immediately. No scheduling, no appointments necessary. Wellnessroundtable.com. Visit our website and take advantage of our on-demand system, wellnessroundtable.com, where you get your questions answered. wellnessroundtable.com.
Atrix is one of the fastest growing companies in the footwear industry and is widely recognized as a global leader in comfort and wellness footwear products. The Atrix mission is to create the healthiest shoe on the market today with fashion, function, and quality at the forefront. Atrix designs and manufactures most types of footwear for both men and women. All styles are crafted with care to meet the highest standards in design, incorporate cutting-edge technologies, and offer unmatched customization and adjustability. To learn how Atrix can help you with your feet, go to AETREX.com. That's Atrix.com.
Information on better health, fitness, and nutrition is everywhere, but much of it is about selling and not teaching. Jerry Brainham's Applied Metabolics newsletter is different. No ads, no advertisers, only pure, unvarnished truth. Jerry Brainham has written for bodybuilding magazines for over 35 years and published over 6,500 articles, and has been on the scene of fitness and nutrition for 56 years. His Applied Metabolics newsletter is an incredible source of practical, no-nonsense guidance, offering in-depth information about nutrition, food supplements, exercise science, ergogenic aids, anti-aging and longevity research, women's health issues, fat loss techniques, preventative medicine, and more. For only $10 a month, that's less than a cup of coffee per day. Subscribe to Jerry Brainham's informational and transformational newsletter and get information to guide you on the path toward health, longevity, and overall well-being. Visit AppliedMetabolics.com. That's AppliedMetabolics.com. Fortify Your Frame has been in business for over 15 years as the only private studio in Pembroke Pines, Florida that caters strictly to aging adults. They have the knowledge, ability, and experience to give an aging adult a comfortable yet challenging workout. If you or someone you know is an aging adult who wants to improve their quality of life, call 954-649-1737. The first session is free, and that number again is 954-649-1737. You may also visit the studio online at fortifyyourframe.com. That's fortifyyourframe.com.
We're back with the Wellness Roundtable radio show on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Give us a call at 602-277-5369 or 1-866-536-1100. And we're talking fall prevention with Shari Kalkstein, personal trainer from Pembroke Pines, Florida. We've kind of covered a lot, and a lot of, great information that you're giving, based on falls. One thing we really haven't touched on is what happens when you fall. What do you do?
So after a fall, it's like a 3-second rule with food. You got to get up. No, don't get up. Don't move. Let the adrenaline lessen, relax. And I am teaching them a self-assessment.
Okay.
Is it safe for them to get up off of the floor, or what's injured and how are they then going to get help? So self-assessment. Move your ankles up and down. If they move up and down and you can make circles with them, more than likely they're not broken.
Okay.
Heel slide. You're going to slide your heel towards your hip. So now a knee fracture or a hip fracture, you're not going to be able to do that. So we can eliminate a knee and hip injury by doing a simple heel slide. Opening and closing your hands, wrist pumps, rotating your forearm. So now we have lower upper extremity, and then reaching for the ceiling. If you can reach for the ceiling, and the what?
That's great. I mean, just the stuff you're saying already is just really, truly amazing. The self-assessment idea is amazing that you're doing that with that population. It truly is.
Yeah, they have to, because if nothing's hurt, then I want them to crawl to a stable object and get up off of the floor and still get help and still call for help. But if they have a hip injury, well, they're not going to be able to crawl. So I have to teach them how to scoot. And this way, that now they're staying on the floor, because one of my things that I really focus on are your phones reachable from the floor? They don't have to be on the floor. They have to be on an end table. They have to be somewhere where if you're on the floor, you can reach the phone. If you fall, fracture a hip, you're not getting up.
Right.
So I want phones to be reachable. And then they can call and get help. But they have to have the strength to scoot. Scooting's tough, especially if got sneakers on and you're on carpet. That's going to be really hard to scoot if you've never exercised your triceps before.
Yeah, sure.
And you probably train them to do that. I mean, doing these exercises and these self-assessments is exercise.
Right.
So I can see how you use these self-assessments as a functional lesson for what to do when to fall, and they're getting exercise while they're going through this. So that's what I kept on saying. This is amazing that you're doing that with this population.
Yeah, they love, everybody gets on the floor. And, you know, I'd rather me put them on the floor safely than gravity, because gravity's not as nice as I am. You know, that's a fact. Gravity's not as nice as I am. So I want to get them on the floor. I want to know that they can crawl, they can scoot, they can go through this assessment, and getting on and off of the floor is lunges. I love lunges, especially with this population. So you have to exercise for function. And I don't care what gym machine you go on, you're not getting this.
Right. There's nothing that simulates what you're doing with them. Right. Right.
So it's just all about what's functional for them.
That's great.
They're not entering any bodybuilding contest.
Right.
They need to live. So let's exercise them to improve their life.
The first thing that you said really struck me, which is the initial reaction is to get up. And if they do happen to get up right away, I would assume that they're more susceptible to a second fall right then and there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially, they can have a hip injury and not realize it because their adrenaline is so high.
Sure.
And now they're going to jump up, or three of their other 80-year-old friends are going to pull them up off of the floor.
Yes.
And they have a hip fracture. They can't put weight on it. Guess what? Now you got 4 people on the floor because she's going to take everybody else down with her.
Right, right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I don't want spouses picking people up off of the floor. They either get off the floor independently themselves with a little bit of help from their spouse or whoever they're living with, or they're going to stay on the floor until 911 arrives.
Right,
That's it.
Question.
I think it's great functional training, guys. You know, it's great
So do I.
functional training in that population. You know, doing 10 repetitions of getting on and off the floor is really taxing for that population. And Dave, from an exercise physiology standpoint, you know, the energy cost is there too, not only the strength.
Yeah,
it's a great functional exercise.
Kind of like a cardiovascular workout, but it's also extremely practical. I have a question. Speaking sort of from an academic viewpoint, are there particular competencies that you look for in your clients to make sure that they understand exactly how to do the things that you're telling them to do? So in other words, they come in the first week and you go through, let's say, an evaluation of where they are. Is the second week kind of figuring out like how to get up off the floor? And do they have to demonstrate particular competencies so that you know when they're out of your studio and they're by themselves that they would be, or you would be confident that they would be able to get up off the floor?
They have to be able. Nobody gets off of the floor the first 2 weeks with me.
Okay.
Because I have to get at least a baseline. Do they even have a glute strength? Can they make a contraction of their glutes? So there has to be some form of ability. Have I done lunges with them? Have I done supported? Of course, there's supported lunges with them.
Sure.
But I'm not going to put anybody on the floor that I safely don't think they can get up, because I will not lift anybody up off of the floor. And that's just protecting my body.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, no, I'm not putting anybody on the floor the first time. I'm doing a fitness assessment right off of the bat. And I can tell from that fitness assessment, because sit to stand is one of my assessments, do they have the glutes or not?
Yeah.
Are they cheating with their quads? So, yeah, it has to come as a progression.
Yeah, yeah.
To the exercise. But, yeah, nobody starts off getting on the floor.
It sounds like an objective?
It sounds like it's, it sounds like, the way Shari is doing it is more an objective way. She's seeing that they can do this and they can accomplish that. That means they can go to the next level. But I don't think there's she's not bringing them through testing on a daily basis or weekly basis to make sure they get to another level. I think by observation and over years of time in her experience, she knows how to progress them when they demonstrate the functional capacity to do different exercises.
Right, and that's her reevaluation process. That's kind of what I was getting at, right? So you're constantly looking at them, how are they doing, how are they progressing, and that's a reevaluation process, and then you can say, well, I'm confident when they're at home, and if they happen to fall, they can actually get up off the floor. They would know exactly what to do.
And I'm also hoping that if they live alone, they already have a medical alert.
Right.
Because nobody's coming to their aid if they're living alone. I want the medical alert. And I also hope that they have their phones that are lowered.
Right.
Most kitchen phones are
Right.
up high on the
For
wall,
sure.
on
For
the
sure.
other side of a counter,
Yep.
and
Yep.
totally not reachable from the floor. You've got to bring that phone, put it on a shelf, put it somewhere where you can reach it from the floor.
Do you suggest that they use furniture to walk around the house, or is that something that's more of a crutch?
That's a crutch. Absolutely not.
Okay.
And the reason I don't want them to touch anything when they're walking around the house is visual changes as you age. And they're losing the peripheral, they're losing depth perception, and they're going to reach for something that just may not be there. Or they're going to reach for a door that they thought was closed and the door was open, and now they just pushed it open and now they went down. I want them walking around the house with their strength, their momentum, their ability, but not using, and if they need to touch everything, then they need a cane or a walker.
Okay.
But I don't want them reaching for walls and furniture and stuff when vision is a common change as you age.
Right.
Dave, one
yeah,
thing
that
just
makes
to
sense.
add.
Yeah. Go ahead, Scott.
One thing just to add, when we were just at the American Telehealth Conference,
Yep.
there was such amazing technology that
we're
was
gonna-
able to
Yep.
tell Shari
Yep.
if you can fall. So I think that would be a good segue into
That
the last
absolutely.
segment.
That's going to be our next segment. We're going to talk a little bit about the new technology in fall prevention. We're talking with Shari Kalkstein on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. We're going to break for commercial in just a moment, but give us a call if you have any questions about falls, fall prevention, training for falls. We're at 602-277-5369 or 1-866-536-1100, and we will be right back after these words.
Fortify Your Frame has been in business for over 15 years as the only private studio in Pembroke Pines, Florida that caters strictly to aging adults. They have the knowledge, ability, and experience to give an aging adult a comfortable yet challenging workout. If you or someone you know is an aging adult who wants to improve their quality of life, call 954-649-1737. The first session is free, and that number again is 954-649-1737. You may also visit the studio online at fortifyyourframe.com. That's fortifyyourframe.com.
Atrix is one of the fastest growing companies in the footwear industry and is widely recognized as a global leader in comfort and wellness footwear products. The Atrix mission is to create the healthiest shoe on the market today with fashion, function, and quality at the forefront. Atrix designs and manufactures most types of footwear for both men and women. All styles are crafted with care to meet the highest standards in design, incorporate cutting-edge technologies, and offer unmatched customization and adjustability. To learn how Atrix can help you with your feet, go to AETREX.com. That's Atrix.com.
Are you tired of traveling or waiting to see a health professional? Now you don't have to. Video chat with an expert anytime, anywhere, and get your health questions answered. Visit wellnessroundtable.com and speak to experts from all over the country in the areas of health, wellness, and fitness. Wellnessroundtable.com offers an on-demand system that allows you to connect to an expert immediately. No scheduling, no appointments necessary. Wellnessroundtable.com. Visit our website and take advantage of our on-demand system, wellnessroundtable.com, where you get your questions answered. Wellnessroundtable.com.
Information on better health, fitness, and nutrition is everywhere, but much of it is about selling and not teaching. Jerry Brainham's Applied Metabolics newsletter is different. No ads, no advertisers, only pure, unvarnished truth. Jerry Brainham has written for bodybuilding magazines for over 35 years and published over 6,500 articles, and has been on the scene of fitness and nutrition for 56 years. His Applied Metabolics newsletter is an incredible source of practical, no-nonsense guidance, offering in-depth information about nutrition, food supplements, exercise science, ergogenic aids, anti-aging and longevity research, women's health issues, fat loss techniques, preventative medicine, and more. For only $10 a month, that's less than a cup of coffee per day. Subscribe to Jerry Brainham's informational and transformational newsletter and get information to guide you on the path toward health, longevity, and overall well-being. Visit AppliedMetabolics.com. That's AppliedMetabolics.com.
Do you have IRS tax problems? Are they keeping you up at night? If your tax problems are affecting your family life, you need to know you have options. Call Ted Watkins, enrolled agent before IRS, the tax expert who will handle your case. We negotiate settlements with the IRS, the Arizona Department of Revenue, as well as prepare past due tax returns. Call us at 602-363-1952 or 602-418-7308.
Back with the Wellness Roundtable radio show. This is Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, and we're talking fall prevention with Shari Kalkstein. So, Scott, you were mentioning when we were going to break the new technology that's out there. So why don't you tell our listeners what we saw, and I'll give you also some new innovations that are actually going on at ASU here in Arizona.
Well, it piggybacks off of kind of what Shari was saying is like, what do you do when you fall? How do you contact somebody? Do you have a medical alert? Is the phone in reach? So we kind of bounced from there to really the next level of technology. Well, you and I were in Chicago at the Telehealth Association meeting. We noticed that they have so many different methods now of really monitoring patients, wirelessly, wherever they are across the globe. And they can actually tell if a fall happened, if loud vibrations were felt on the floor, if your heart rate or blood pressure dropped to certain levels. And they might be able to tell you exactly why you are on the floor. And with some of the technology, they could tell you what is fractured without you even having to know. So it's really incredible what's out there, what we saw.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so the device was actually as small as like what would be an internet router, and you put it anywhere in your house, and your house has these like sensors in it, where in different rooms, and it can actually tell when somebody falls. Not only falls, but like every kind of vital sign and patient monitoring device is hooked up to it. So it was quite interesting, to have that.
It sounds expensive.
I don't know, Scott, I think it was more, was it insurance was paying for it? I don't remember exactly how they were, defraying those costs.
Paying for it.
Yeah.
Insurance was definitely paying for it. And, they were really used at this point, Shari, for some, like, bigger facilities in really rural areas. So I don't think that they're off the charts these days. I think they're going to always come down in price as time goes on. And I think you'd be surprised if some people out there looked into them. They're really not off the chart. So I think it's definitely worthwhile looking into.
Yeah.
I know. I'm definitely going to find out more information about that because it is interesting, especially if you live alone.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And he showed us some very...
It was like a watch.
Yeah, he showed us some pretty impressive data, too, to sort of, basically record all that information. Yeah, go ahead.
My aunt had a medical alert she wore around her neck, but it had a sensor in it. So as soon as it sensed a quick change in position,
correct, right,
it automatically called the paramedics.
Yeah, that's great.
And that was a couple of years ago. So the technology has to be getting better.
So
it
is
absolutely. So
it's jewelry these days.
Right. So I wanted to mention to you. There's a fall prevention lab at ASU, and I actually went to the professor's kind of a keynote. Like I went with a group of individuals, and he has created an app that is really, really interesting. It uses biomechanics, and it uses sort of it uses a placement technology. So you have the app in your phone, and it can give you an idea not only of where your gait is, but it can kind of tell you where your gait is compared to like 2 weeks ago. So you could see like, where you're stepping, where you're not stepping, are you stepping in the same place, that kind of stuff. And then also the data shows balance, it shows changing gait, it shows all of that. It's really, really interesting. And he does some very, very interesting, I guess you could say, fall prevention research, for lack of a better term. So in his biomechanics lab, in his motion capture lab, he has a strip that people walk down, and it's purposely slippery. So you're hooked up to a harness to the ceiling, and you're completely covered with a motion capture suit, and they can look and see what the body does when it falls. So how to kind of rectify the position. You know what I mean? So what does our body do when we're falling backward? What do we do when we fall forward? It's really, really interesting. And so he's done a lot of work in this area in biomedical engineering and biological design. And they have some very, very interesting stuff coming up. You know, that's I think it'd be great for
strategies. Those are strategies of falling, you know. People can kind of research that. Those are strategies of falling, and, you know, they actually watch what your hands do, where your hips get thrown, how far your legs go up. And we know that there are different strategies, whether it's an ankle, hip, low back strategy of falling. They can do those testing in those motion captures labs, so they can figure out your specific strategy of how you fall or how you try to maintain your balance.
Right. And that kind of speaks to when you say how you fall, it's like as you're falling, there are ways to sort of try to minimize the impact or the damage to that fall. So that's also a good
100%.
thing. Yeah. So as we were talking
that's one thing I don't do is I don't practice falling.
Yeah.
I live in a state that's very litigious.
Right, judo, right. You what? You live what?
You get sued for everything in my state. I will not practice falling. I'm not going to go there. So I put them on the floor nicely. And I do a lot of lunges and a lot of side lunges so they can learn how to shift their body weight and hopefully prevent that fall from coming by just stepping out.
Right.
And so there's a couple of just techniques that we practice.
Right.
Nothing excites me more when a client comes in and says, I didn't fall yesterday because of you, and then describe the scenario, and she was able to prevent the fall.
That's great. So when their center of mass changes or whatever, you teach them kind of how to not only minimize it, but how to basically prevent that from happening. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. And you know, what Scott was talking about, judo or jiu-jitsu, right? We learn how to roll on the ground and fall, and in many of the martial arts techniques, you learn how to fall, whether it be a face-first fall or a back fall or whatever it is. You learn how to roll. You're probably not going to do that with that population, but I think, you know, teaching them how to prevent the fall by shifting their body weight, I think, is a great idea. You know,
we had a jiu-jitsu practitioner the other day on our show, and he would be an ideal person to talk to one day about the proper methods of breaking a fall to minimize injury.
Yep. I think that's really important. But the work that you're doing, Shari, is just great. And, you know, you're really impacting not only a population, but you're really impacting the medical community, because if people are going to fall less, it's just going to cost a lot less money, and there's going to be a lot less anguish for everybody involved.
Yeah, it really is. And I send letters out to the doctors, and doctors, they send back, and they see a difference in their patient.
Sure.
They may see a patient monthly,
but
they see a difference within that month.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, so it really, we're making a difference here.
That's really nice. It's really nice. And the just to for our listeners, the business is called FortifyYourFrame.com. You can call Shari at 954-649-1737, and the first 10 people who mention this interview will receive 2 additional free sessions. And your first session is always complimentary, as it is an evaluation. So, I
like for people to meet me. Sometimes I have a harsh personality, like this gentleman that came from the gym.
Yeah.
And once he walked in and says, "Where are your machines?" I said, "You're your machine." So I don't want anybody tied into anything. Come see my facility.
Yeah.
Make sure that you want to do my type of program.
Sure, and that it works for you, right?
Yeah. Go back to a big box gym.
That's okay.
And so, yeah.
Great. Well, I want to thank you for your time. Scott, you have any other questions?
You know, the one thing that we didn't get to talk about, we did talk a little bit about, break falling, but you know what, Sherry, Tai Chi, I hear, is a great form of exercise for that population, and I just wanted to know if you agreed or disagreed.
I agree 100%. I'm actually certified for Tai Chi for rehabilitation.
There you go.
Through Dr.
Excellent.
Lamb's program. So,
Awesome.
Absolutely. And I will incorporate Tai Chi into some of my balance activities as
Amazing.
well. I will do some of those movements. So 100%, yes.
That is great.
Running slow, controlled. You are in control of your body. Your body's not in control of you.
Shari, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have you on again for sure. This is the Wellness Roundtable Radio Show. I'm Dr. David Spear, and for my co-host, Dr. Scott Weiss. Another great show, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Take care and have a great week.
You've been listening to the Wellness Roundtable Radio Show right here on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Tune in next week for more from the experts on the Wellness Roundtable Radio Show.
The information and opinions you hear on this radio show are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of KFNX, its affiliates, management, or advertisers.
Atrix is one of the fastest growing companies in the footwear industry and is widely recognized as a global leader in comfort and wellness footwear products. The Atrix mission is to create the healthiest shoe on the market today with fashion, function, and quality at the forefront. Atrix designs and manufactures most types of footwear for both men and women. All styles are crafted with care to meet the highest standards in design, incorporate cutting-edge technologies, and offer unmatched customization and adjustability. To learn how Atrix can help you with your feet, go to AETREX.com. That's Atrix.com.
Hi, Solar Sandy here. Currently, you're buying expensive power from your power company, paying fees, taxes, and all kinds of charges for your electricity. I want you to save money on a bill you're already spending too much on, and it's going to keep going up. To get saving with solar, fill out my kilowatt worksheet, and then I come to your house to show you how many panels you need and how much PYOP, producing your own power, will save you. No more high electric bills. It's really quite simple. Now, you produce your own power and pay less for it. Go to my website, AskSolarSandy.com. That's AskSolarSandy.com.
You're listening to Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX, Cave Creek, Phoenix, a division of Premier Radio Stations, the home of Laura Ingraham, weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. It's